So guys, a Nigerian soldier has come out to raise alarm, expressing concern over the way these terrorists are bringing down other military men. I'm going to be sharing that video with you all, but before then, let's take a look at some of the headlines on the social media. This one here says, exclusive, how Tinubu's defense minister, Metawale, maintains contact with bandit leaders, ordered them to compel communities to vote for APC. The question remains, is the Tinubu's government trying to use the bandits for political gain? Nigerians. A minister is asking the bandits to force the communities to vote for APC. So, after Buhari used these bandits for political reasons, now they still want to use them under Tinubu. So guys, it's really so worrisome. Now, some celebrities have come out to lend their voices on what is happening in Nigeria. Take a look at this. This one here says, government keeps quiet on school girls' abduction, but security forces act like Marines when raiding clubs and arresting citizens. And this other one here says, useless and irresponsible government feasting on blood of innocent Nigerians. Mr. Macaroni slams Tinubu's regime. And this other one here says, instruct us to shut down churches and lead nationwide protests. Apostle Ayintete tells CAN and PFN over insecurity, that Christians need to be on the street to protest because it's getting out of hand. This is coming after Kwara Church was attacked. And this headline here says, terrorists killed ex-councillor abduct residents in midnight attack in Sokoto community. This happened just today, the night that down to today. Sokoto also saw these bad guys. And this headline here says, Nigeria, now a crime scene. Every day brings fresh chaos. Comedian AY blames Tinubu's silence on daily killing and kidnapping. So guys, the Tinubu's government is so silent that Nigerians can no longer hold their peace. Resign now. You are consistent. You've consistently shown unwillingness to protect Nigerians. Fact tells Tinubu after Kebbi Kwara attack. So guys, Tinubu is just so quiet that Nigerians are beginning to question the level of his quietness as regards to what's happening. Just because of 2027, he knows that Buhari destroyed this nation and Tinubu is not willing to start fixing the nation because he doesn't want to step on the toes of the northerners because of 2027. That is just it. And this one here says, Nigeria government has long failed to protect its school children from jihadists and criminal abductions. U.S. Senator Jim Risch. So guys, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at some of the updates coming from Arise TV crew members, just for you to know what is happening in Nigeria. And you are going to be watching the military man who has come out to raise alarm over, the way these people are ambushing their military men. In case you don't know, the military was ambushed by these terror guys who abducted 25 school children in Kebbi. The military men who were sent to go rescue the girls, they were ambushed. The question still remains, who is giving these terrorists information about the whereabouts of our military men? Just like the way they were able to capture and recapture the general, the commander that was executed. Nigerians have now concluded that there must be somebody among the high-rank officials who are the ones sending signals to these terror guys, for them to know the whereabouts of our military men, and it's easy for them to ambush them because these military men suffered real big, they attacked them and injured them so badly. Now take your time and watch these videos and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So boy, Soldier Boy. Please, I have a very important message for Nigeria. Me, the way I lose my colleagues is getting to things where we say, they come out tears for me, for my high, day by day. In this country, we have 36 governors. We have like senator 109 senators. We get even the minister, we have like almost 60. We have House of Representatives, chairman of local government, 774. Let each one of them bring their son to join the Nigerian army. May they join the Nigerian army, not even the officer cadre. May they join the other rank. The other rank in Nigerian army. Let each of all those governors, all the senator, all those ministers, let them bring their son. May they bring them and join Nigerian army other rank. So that they can come and witness what we will not get people, what will they witness? Every day by day, this killing is too much. Person they lost, we go they lost our colleagues ambush. You go lost colleagues, you go cry tire. Who know who is next?
Well, Piers Morgan has released the much-anticipated segment of Uncensored, featuring Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tuga. The explosive interview, which also featured former Canadian MP Goldie Gamari And Reverend Ezekiel Dachimo saw Minister Tuga mount an aggressive defense, challenging international reports on the scale of Christian killings and church burnings in Nigeria. The minister dismissed widely circulated figures as completely and totally inaccurate and false, insisting that media fact checkers have examined the numbers and found them grossly inflated. Let's take a look.
Over the last 2 years, there have been 52 churches, depending on which region, again, you are referring to, because there are different regions in Nigeria. Since the last 5 years, the attacks, not destroyed, attacks on churches, 102.
How many Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009?
Since over the last 5 years, I can categorically tell you that 177 have been killed. And it does not mean that the killing...
But you said to me... You said to me earlier you did... Yeah, but hang on. Foreign Minister, with respect...
Muslims. They are not necessarily Muslims.
Here's what's happening in Nigeria is jihad. It's the exact same thing that happened on October 7 by Islamists when they broke into Israel and murdered Jews yelling Allahu Akbar. It's the exact same thing that ISIS terrorists did to the Yazidis in Iraq. It's the exact same thing that happened in Lebanon. Here's the only difference between what's happening today in Nigeria versus what happened 1,400 years ago when the Muslim Arab invaders came to Persia is that back then people did not have cameras, but today they do. It is 100% jihad. We've seen it before. This is how the Islamist playbook always happens. Right now, you have a Muslim president, and then they decided to choose a Muslim vice president. And so there is actually no Christian representation in the Islamist government. I was a politician for 7 years, Pierce, and I can tell when someone is lying and avoiding the truth. That's exactly what this foreign minister is doing, and shame on him for lying.
Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
All right, this is an explosive interview, Rufai. But I was quite shocked when I heard the figure. 177 Christians have been killed in 5 years. That's what, according to the Foreign Affairs Minister. Quite shocking.
I dare him.
Quite shocking. There are reports. We've seen reports everywhere.
I challenge him to bring out that where he got that data from. He didn't cite the source. It's not true.
Well, all right.
That data is not true. It's porkies.
For you to speak. Meanwhile, global superstar Nicki Minaj gave an address at the United Nations headquarters supporting President Donald Trump's claims that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. In her speech, Minaj blatantly stated that Christians in Nigeria are being targeted and families have been torn apart. She also called for urgent action while stressing that this issue is not about taking sides or dividing people, but about uniting humanity. Let's take a look.
In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity.
This is about uniting humanity. And this is the reason why we keep highlighting the story, so that it can be tackled properly. But those statistics that the foreign minister reeled out on that show was quite painful to hear. Rufai.
Even me.
Yes.
I shame for Nigeria. I shame for Tuga. Foreign minister of my country. Go out there. You don't get facts. You don't get data.
The 200 people that were killed just the other day from Yawata, 200, and the 500 that Dachimo showed us,
he said
that's 700 already.
What about the Christmas Eve killings?
Yes.
Amnesty reported that over 1,000 people were killed in the Christmas Eve killings. Okay, let's even say conservative number, let's say about 300, as reported by some people in that Christmas killings. You say 177, but it shows. And next thing, you are trying to put down the woman and saying all sorts. The woman was right. When we're talking about Muslim tickets, didn't people make noise? Didn't the likes of Buala say that was why he left the APC there? Has he not gone back the AP to the APC now? It's not going to show a level of balancing. And Tuga kept on talking about Sudan. The reason for the problem of Sudan, apart from the artisan problem in the south, when the north and the south was fighting because of minerals and other things that John Garang helped liberate, is that there are two independent warlords. In South Sudan, you have Riek Machar and Salva Kiir fighting. In the northern part of Sudan, after the exits of Umar al-Bashir from the same. You have Amerti and Al-Burnham, two top military generals fighting each other for the power of the country. So it's got nothing, to do, and you're trying to relate it to, don't turn Nigeria into Sudan. You see, all of this narrative, please, I'm just saying get your facts right. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Get your facts right. And for, real quickly, the police officers that they used for all of the back and forths, let me just remind them in the words of another police officer when Wike and Yerima had an obligation. One police officer called the military man in the corner and said, please, don't die in their war. These men they are big men. No.
That's Dele Faroti.
They are just want to advise the police. Don't die in their war. They are big men. They will settle themselves. But it's very sad. Look at the killings that have been happening in this country. I challenge the minister's rhetoric and his numbers.
Yes.
This is very... So you couldn't call National Bureau of Statistics and get data.
This is,
he appeared
to have been reading. He appeared to have been reading from
at least they should bring it out.
A piece of
paper.
Is
that not why we are funding them?
Data problem.
We have a data problem.
But we are the media. They can send it to us. We would like to see those figures because what we have is nothing compared to what the minister reeled out. I mean, this is tragedy that is really happening in Nigeria.
And it took him a while before he was able to acknowledge and say the data. At first, he was saying, no, we don't know. You can't really distinguish if it's Christian or Muslim. They don't check the religion of the dead. What do you mean? What kind of talk is that? We're not saying Muslims are not being killed. Yes, of genocidal proportion. But you can't deny the fact that there's a Christian genocide. Let's call it spade. Can't met yesterday and talked about it again.
All right, Christians are being killed. Christians are being killed. Christians are being massacred. This is the conversation. In another tragic development, bandits stormed a branch of Christ Apostolic Church in the Eruku community of Kwara State on Tuesday evening, killing 3 worshippers and abducting the pastor, along with several congregants during a live-streamed service. The horrifying attack, which occurred around 6 p.m., was captured on video showing the congregation scampering for safety as sporadic gunshots rang out around the church premises. Let's take a look. In that video, we saw more than 5 armed bandits ransack the church, carting away belongings before kidnapping the pastor and worshippers. A witness told reporters that 3 people died immediately as the gunmen opened fire on the gathered congregation. Community leaders revealed that Eruku has been under banditry attacks for 3 weeks, with distress calls to authorities yielding to no results. The Kwara State Police Command has confirmed injuries to 3 persons, including a vigilante, but the full number of those abducted remains unclear. This comes barely 48 hours after bandits raided the government girls' comprehensive secondary school in Kebbi State, abducting 25 schoolgirls. 2 of them have escaped, while we have also learned of a Catholic priest who was abducted in Kaduna State. Dr. Abati, I'm sure you saw that video. It was quite terrifying to watch. When I saw it, I thought it was an old video. I did not even realize that it happened just yesterday amid this conversation and the crisis that we have in our hands.
Well, this is a sad reconfirmation of the fact that there is insecurity in Nigeria and that the Nigerian state has continued to fail in dealing with the problem, whether they use the phrase kinetic or non-kinetic. The fact that at this time there have been increased attacks on Christian establishments and Christian figures would seem to be also a reinforcement of the argument by persons who insist that there is Christian persecution in Nigeria. Whether this is orchestrated or not will be a matter for the intelligence authorities to find out. The attack in Kwara on the CAC Apostolic Church is reminiscent of the attack years back in December in Owo. And now we have been told that years after, those bandits have now been attacked. Then you hear that a Catholic priest was killed in Kaduna Riley Moore, even if he's wrong, says that 25 Christian students have been, abducted, and the teacher, the vice principal in the school killed. So it feels into this grand narrative. But one thing that we cannot run away from is that the state is not living up to its responsibilities. Look at that. That's a church there. There was even an elderly woman who was campaigning for safety. This kind of thing, when it is seen by the international community, it reinforces the narrative. So the question to ask is that the intelligence agencies say they are responding, the security agencies say they are responding, but they are losing the battle, in this regard. Because if this kind of images go out, this kind of narrative will be reinforced, and then the Nigerian government will be holding the wrong end of the stick. And I said that the Americans are ahead, whatever the long-term objective may be. They've moved from traditional diplomacy to modern diplomacy. And that's why you have a Nicki Minaj talking, a former Canadian MP, a Miss Gambari, who is spewing anti-Gambari rhetoric on UK television. That's how the game is played. Right. So that was why I was saying, where are our other non-governmental actors or, non-state actors, civil society groups who can help the Nigerian government at the level of diplomacy? But whatever it is, we all agree that we have problems here with security. Nobody is safe. And a state cannot be failing, and then it will fold its arms and say, we are looking for help. People come and help us. Right. What are you yourself doing? Yes. Domestic policy drives foreign policy.
Right. Speaking about security and what has been done so far, there's been a 2019 video showing General Officer Commanding the 7th Division, Major General Abdulmalik Bulama Biu, advocating for Boko Haram fighters to lay down their arms during an interview in Maiduguri that is now making the rounds on social media. The general, during the interview, urged the militants that they could advance in society and even could one day become president of Nigeria. Let's take a look.
For everyone, you need to come on board. Boko Haram should lay their arms unconditionally and be accepted in the community. Opportunities are out there for them. They can be rehabilitated. An ex-Boko Haram stands having laid his arms and comes back, turns his way away from his negativity. He stands to be a president of this country. He stands to aspire to any position in this country. Why is he wasting his time when he cannot even deliver? We will do that. But we have appealed to them, including their detractors, their collaborators, to see reason to, as fast as possible, quickly drop their arms so that we can once again reoccupy our peaceful position.
So these are the fundamental issues that we have in our security forces. We have this rehabilitation program, and we're appealing and treating these bandits with kid gloves, saying that he could even become a president. And look at what we are seeing. We even have...
Are they not holding government position in another area? Yes. Are they not taking picture of government officials? Are there not some states that they say...
some local government chairman former Boko Haram.
We have those videos. We have this. So we even have a horrifying clip circulating on social media showing the moment the now late Brigadier General Musa Uba was executed by the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP after they ambushed his convoy in Borno last Friday.
This is heartbreaking. Now, statements like what the previous video says is what emboldens terrorists and bandits to carry out their activities, even with an audacity and brazenness. That some of them do it and come into the community and be making laws and giving directions and be giving conditions as to whether or not they were approved. When the Nigerian, it's a failed state. When the Nigerian army, the Nigerian government should be hard on them and neutralize it. They are causing terror, mayhem. They are ensuring that people are not able to live in their communities. We have Nigerians who are IDPs for many years in their own country, displaced persons in their own country, and we are there to appealing to them when we should talk tough and deal with the menace once and for all.
This idea American is raising, calling it genocide. I love the position of AGK saying possibly the word, but it is what it is. The fact remains that if you understand what genocide means, it's just like an intentional act of attacking people deliberately. And not less than 24 hours, we heard about the attack that happened in Ilorin, Kwara State. We heard about that which happened, the kidnapping of the adoption of the kids in Kebbi. My position has always been, I don't like this idea of saying Christians, Muslims. Because if you look at the school that actually happened in Kebbi, is a Muslim
it's predominantly
school. Muslim. And my colleagues, human beings are being killed. Whether he's a Christian,
absolutely,
a Muslim, is a northerner, is from the western side or the eastern path. The fact remains that what a lot of us have actually said about the government is what is working out. Not only of this administration, of the past ones, of saying that there are no consequences for wrongdoing. As a matter of fact, we tend to celebrate and encourage that indisciplined act when people do it. And what do I mean by this? People submit their ammunitions, their weapon that they have used to kill, and own up that indeed we got involved in carrying out this act. And the next thing we do is to accommodate them, integrate them back into the system. What we are saying logically, if you ask me, is that other people can venture into it. Our hands are open to take you back after you have caused the havoc.
With zero consequences.
That's my own position, because a lot of people have said it. We are in democratic setting. We are in this. People that are killed by the sword should go by the sword. As soon as you are admitting the fact that you actually perpetrated this ill, do you know the demotivating factor that we give to the military? People that attack these people, see them being reintegrated back, kill their colleagues. We just heard about the killing of a brigadier. Somebody asked me yesterday on a particular station that what is the fate of civilians like you and I if a brigadier general trained to defend us and defend himself cannot actually defend and is actually being killed? It's a great indictment, and I'm actually waiting for the reaction of the military forces, because we can't continue with this. So the fact remains that we can't continue to go the route of reintegrating people who have actually, acknowledged the fact that they have committed this offense, while we keep those other people that have actually been dealt with in IDP, and we feel that they're having a fun field day.
Let me bring in the member for CAN here. Sir, you've heard both sides, right? But one thing that's very certain is this term of genocide. And Benga rightfully put during our opening segment of the show today, where he said there's an academic term and there's a point where one can declare genocide. Now, we know that the hearing is happening today at UN, and we've seen statements made by the pop star and rap artist Nicki Minaj. We've also seen the comments from the global affairs analyst as well as our analyst here in the studio. And so I do have to ask you, do you think that this genocide claims is a bit much, or is there empirical fact, as a learned colleague would state, to back up that claim of a genocide? And what do you expect from the UN hearing today?
Colleagues, global analysts who are making their comments, and I do respect their comments, but let me be honest. I live here in the north. These killings have been targeted, sustained, and consistent. We don't have to wait until we reach millions of people killed, as in Rwanda, before we declare that we have a genocidal intent killings taking place in Nigeria. So please, Khan has stated a position. We stand by it. You only needed to be around yesterday to see the unity of Christian voices across the country affirming this idea of the fact that genocide is taking place. It is real. So we don't have time for me to go into details. But let me also say that the idea is that Khan doesn't, it's not saying that others are not being killed, but we're talking about the targeting of Christians. The international community needs to drum up what they're doing. Why? For the simple reason that we've been quiet in Nigeria. Many of us have been politically correct, including some of the public policy analysts. They've been killing people in the north. Consistent. It increased when, by 2010, when they started in full earnest, going to Christian communities, stacking them, hacking people to death. There's no time for me to actually begin to reel out statistics. But let me just say that we have a problem in our hands. If we do not want the international community to cry out, let Nigerians cry out, all of us collective, Christians and Muslims, working together to see that these killings comes to an end. Let's work together with the government and and everybody, just every stakeholder in Nigeria, so that these killings come to an end.
Reverend Palomalam, quickly, before we move on to our next guest, can you paint a picture of what a solution would look like, and what are the demands of CAN?
Thank you. I think this I'm going to just profess some suggestions from what I heard yesterday. I think there's need for us to work together across the religious divide to see that we unite together to see that the killings is brought to an end in Nigeria. And Khan also appealed yesterday through the address of the president that all those who have been sacked from Christian communities in southern Kaduna, in Benue, in Plateau, in Borno State, the Goza area, the Chibok areas, let all of them be resettled back to their ancestral homelands. Let me just put it that way so that we can save time. But let me also say that as a people, we need to come together and continue to work to promote peaceful coexistence. We acknowledge that there are Christians and Muslims in Nigeria. Let the Muslims stop killing the Christians.
All right. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Christian genocide allegations as the CAN national leadership has now thrown their weight behind the claims by U.S. government and President Donald Trump. And now we have seen the address at the UN, calling for concerns regarding Christian genocide. Now we'll continue in-depth analysis. Our guest today is GK Okpa, who joins us from Texas as a global affairs analyst. Here in the studio as well is, of course, none other than a friend of the house, Chesson, who joins us as well as a member of CAN. Let's go to a short break. When we return on the other side, we'll continue with the in-depth analysis and the discussion. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the allegations of Christian genocide by the U.S. government and the label of the country as a country of particular concern. Now, we've seen all the events unfolded in the last 3 weeks, plus the address that was given at the UN by rap star Nicki Minaj, who is calling for more attention to to Nigeria, beg your pardon, and also threats by the U.S. government that said that without decisive action to stop the genocide, there will be military action on the country. Now, joining us earlier on the program was a member of CAN. Unfortunately, he had to leave us. That was Reverend Malam. He was a member of CAN who was just giving us a bit of insight following CAN's resolution. They've now thrown their weight behind that allegation and said in no uncertain terms that there's Christian genocide in the country. Now, also joining us as well from earlier on the break is global affairs analyst joining us live from Texas, United States, GK Okpa. He's here with us virtually, and also right here in the studio is public affairs analyst Chesson Okunade.
Just before we come to our in-house analysts and our guests, we'll crave your indulgence to go to Kebbi State for a few minutes to touch base with our correspondent Jamil Mabia, who's at the government secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State, where the sad incident of the kidnapping of the 25 girls occurred a few days ago. Good morning to you, Jamil. Could you keep us up to speed with the situation there, and what's the latest report? Are there any news of the recovery of the girls? We learned that the governor of Kebbi State visited the site yesterday. Could you just give us updates on the situation where you are? Thank you.
All right. The recent update is I just learned that the vice president will be visiting Kebbi later during the day, but what we're not certain whether the vice president will come down to the school or he's just going to stay in the state capital, Kebbi, and extend his sympathy to the governor. That is it. And the second thing is regarding the abduction of the 26 girls. As of now, 2 of the girls were able to escape themselves, and they're being reunited with their parents and what have you. And again, just like what I said yesterday, the governor also in his statement says he has an intelligence report prior to the attack, which also the district head of Maga Town, which we spoke to, told us that the governor had to make sure that when he had the intelligence report, he made sure that all forces were mobilized and stationed in the school, especially the military. And he had a follow-up. He said, okay, once they are there, he made confirmation by pictures. So they sent pictures and told him everything was in order. But around 1 a.m., the military withdrew from the school. Then the next hour, that was when the bandits, attacked the school. So there are a lot of unanswered questions to that angle of why the military withdrew even after having the intelligence report and been told or informed that first thing will certainly happen. But after they left an hour, the incidents happened. And again, a lot of media outlets, both international and national, carried the news that the vice principal was killed during the attack. That information was completely wrong, not accurate. It was the chief security officer of the school and one other security personnel that were killed during the attack. And, along the axis or all the roads leading to Maga, we've seen military vehicles stationed at strategic locations, because to them, they're keeping vigilance that the bandits are believed to be within Kebbi territory. Once they are allowed to enter, or go over the Zamfara territory, it's going to be very hard for security operatives to free or rescue the girls. So far, this has been the update, and we're still waiting on the principal and some of the parents. We had that they will be visiting the schools, so we get to talk to them and understand different angles and perspectives from the perspective of the students who were able to escape, and also from the perspective of the school staff administration that were stationed in the school, and probably from the policemen that were around when the incidents happened. So
Jamil,
this, we can have a holistic
right. Jamil, very quickly, if you can hear me, I just want to find out the preparation that's underway to receive the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. We understand he's coming into the state today. Do you know anything regarding preparation from the state government or from the local government area, Maga, where the school is situated at?
And what's security presence like as we speak? What's the security situation like?
Okay, there isn't much presence of security personnel here in Maga town, but probably in Kebbi, which is almost 7 hours, 7 hours travel from where we are. But it's just one vehicle of military personnel, and the APC vehicles are stationed in front of the gate. And some of the students have resumed. I learned that they are back at the school, but there isn't that heavy security presence at the moment here in the school, but probably in bringing to the state capital, if and only if the vice president will be coming today, definitely there will be heavy personnel there in the but here it's just normal security operatives that are stationed.
Thank you so much for your time, News Central correspondent Jamil Mabai, speaking to us live from Maga in Kebbi State. And he did give a geographical picture of the area. It's 7 hours from the capital, in Kebbi. We'll definitely connect with you in our subsequent programs and bulletin here on News Central Television. Now, back to our guest as we discuss Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern, and also the alleged Christian genocide. I'd like to come to Mr. Ejike Okpa. Tomorrow, the United States Congress is going to hold a special session, and they will be speaking with eyewitnesses. This is following the background of Nigeria being designated as a country of particular concern. Yet, we're yet to appoint an ambassador to Washington, and I don't think we have, there are talks of back-channel communications happening. But what's the implication of this to Nigeria? What comes next when the United States government is taking particular interest in our country?
Is there a question for any
the question is directed to you, Mr. Okpa.
Oh, to me?
Yes,
okay, thank you.
You're in the US, so you're the right person.
I lost the whole idea. Hey, good question. Look, this genocide has no specific number of people that have to have been killed before it's a serious consequence. What sort of bothers me is how the Nigerian leadership, either from the national or the local state, takes some of these things. Nigerians have to be be invested in their own security. They don't enforce police people or the military. They are not magicians. That's what we call in America, see something, say something. We have to sensitize, educate Nigerians to also be aware of their surroundings. Because, you gotta, before somebody attacks you or do something to you, there may be whispers, there may be something. But you go back and you look at it. The governors did what they call the security factor. I don't know what are they trying to secure. Is it security for themselves or security for their state? But the National Assembly have to go back and look at some of these laws or some of these things that are going on that nobody's addressing. In America, when certain things happen, there's what they call situation, room. In fact, when things like this happen to America, the president immediately goes to the situation room and gives a national broadcast or national views of what they think. He has said in the earlier part of the segment that, Tinubu is out of the country. I don't want to pick on him, but Tinubu is, obviously doing what, presidents before him or heads of state before him have done. They are always insensitive. They're always in denial. It doesn't happen. So Nigerians have to start collecting data on what is going on in their locality. I don't know any particular state that will say, they're starting from your villages. Every year this number of people got killed. Not the Igwes, not the Amanabos, MS. There's a need for a serious orientation of Nigeria. Because democracy in itself doesn't guarantee you anything. The people have to be actively involved and engaged in things and in fact, engage your elected officials. In this case, your assembly members, your house, and say, this is what we want. I wanted to ask the gentleman from Khan, has Khan ever initiated any law? Because how you initiate a law is you introduce it, you pass it, you give it to every member, and you ask certain members, whether they're from, people are sympathizing with your religion or somebody else, I say, would you guys introduce it on the floor of the house? What is happening in Nigeria is Nigerians wait for the lawmakers to tell them what to do. Democracy is very, very effective and useful to the people when the people tell those they elect, this is what we want you to talk about. Nigerians, again, have no solution. There's no perfect nations or perfect societies. People have to constantly be aware, and that is what is not going on in Nigeria. Everybody discharged, detached, and so let the governor do it or let the president. They are human beings. They get 24 hours in a day. So if that's a solution or suggestion that I have to make, let all these people, there should be an interreligious alliance and coalition in Nigeria where the Christians and everybody, they don't even look at just the Muslims and the Christians. They are the non-believers. There are most people who don't even believe in it. They too are getting killed. There should be that intra-religious coalition where they meet from time to time and talk about what is going on. Embrace each other. Nigerians haven't found it. Some of them have said, the Fulanis, the Hausas, the Christians. There is no perfect tribe in Nigeria. There is no tribe that is leading an example that somebody said, let me copy and paste. Everybody's more like, even animals in the zoo behave better because animals in the zoo, they have a minder. Who is the minder for Nigerians? Nigerians claim and say that they are the smartest people. Please run a smart country. The image of the black race is shattered because there's no black president in the world that has international credibility. Is it Tinubu? Is it the guy in Kenya? Name it. Every race, every continent has somebody they can put forward and say, hey, this person, when they speak for us, we are excited. Who speaks for the black race? Nigeria is the most populous black nation. Act like it. Stop throwing around the PhD, doctor, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you have a dysfunctional society that nobody knows what is going on. Look at the schools. In America, we know how many law enforcement agencies. We have 16,000 law enforcement agencies. We have killings in our schools. That's why we call them now resource officers. So maybe in all these 6 political zones, create resource law enforcement just for schools, and make sure every school that is in that particular geography has a policeman or somebody trained to protect the school so that the kids can feel comfortable, go to school and go back home. You can't just have this in season, attacks, people getting kidnapped, and everybody just try to look the other way, say, oh, it doesn't happen. Please, Nigerians, please, I'm saying if you're Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian American, I'm probably not going to come back to live in that country. But I visit. My point is that the image of the black person is damaged because of the way Nigerian government and leadership behaves. It is very shameful.
Mr. Chesson, I have to ask you because Mr. Okpa here said that Nigerians in some sense have, somewhat lost direction when it comes to holding the government accountable and whether or not the CAN has been able to lobby for certain bills and laws being passed. But the very core of the democracy, in fact, the very core and duty of the president when he's sworn in is a swear to protect every person in spite of their identity, religion.
That's why he's commander.
And that's why he's commander. So should we victim blame, or should we blame Nigerians and not, holding power accountable? Have they not done that in the past couple of years, or have we are we slacking in our hold for power accountability?
Yeah, thank you very much, Judith. I have this to say that Nigerians are not slacking. There is no day on this particular station and other sister station that people don't call these leaders to question on certain things that they're doing. But you ask yourself the question, how much do they actually react? They only respond to the ones that they know has to do with them. Going in line with what my brother said, the fact remains that it's entrenched in our constitution, Section 14 subsection 2B, that the primary responsibility of the government is to provide security and better welfare for the citizen. Is this being done? You see, the disheartening thing as I speak is that the current commander-in-chief of armed forces of the country, while he was a governor, championed the issue of state policing. And you can know that as we have in Lagos State, where he was once a governor, we have the neighborhood watch that was created, and they have the backing of the state assembly to actually function and augment the service of the security architecture. We have the RRS, which was actually given the backing also, a branch of Nigerian police that we have in Lagos that is actually there. And I ask myself, what till now is holding back the issue of empowering the state governors, which can actually bring down the power of this security architecture to local government, from local government to communities. As far as we are concerned, I keep saying that we have 40 years of government. The federal government is there, the state is there, the local government is there, and the traditional leaders. You can imagine, Benga, you and I were looking at each other when the reporter was saying that the distance of where that happening in Kebbi to the capital is 7 hours drive. I can tell you that we'll discuss this later. Vice President will not visit such. 7 hours drive. Let's hope he does. 7 hours
if
drive.
the president didn't visit Yewata, what makes you think he's going to go to Maga?
7 hours drive. So you can imagine the level of non-governance that is happening in that area. And we keep saying it that there was a time there was this killing in Kaduna that was predominantly, the talk of the town. And that was when I had a program. In fact, my family was like, why do you have to go to Kaduna at this point when that was when we had this attack on the plane that killed that military man. And I was at the capital where I said we even went out on the normal show. And we came in late and we're asking, where are these killings happening? They said, no, not at this area. But when you go to the suburb, it's part of what we've said, that we need to take this security down the street. You should hold the traditional leaders accountable and
finally, just before we go, the Senate yesterday in a session did call for the recruitment of 100,000 Nigerians into the armed forces. Do you think that would make any difference?
That will not make any difference.
The president is also away as well. The chief of the commander, our chief commander, is away on to G20 plus the Angola as well. Let's put that into factors.
The truth of the matter is every leader that comes in prioritize what they want for the citizen. And I've said it that this administration seems to be more revenue driven than talking to the lives of individuals that has happened. Because I was expecting that with this that has happened, with the kidnapping in Kebbi, the attack in Kwara, and we don't pray that any happened today, but you can never say. We expect that Mr. President will actually ask the vice to pay that visit, and why he stayed back to mourn with what has actually happened.
So guys, a lot of things have happened in these few days from the time Donald Trump declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Many people have said maybe that's the reason why these people have gone on a killing spree in Nigeria. The question remains, see, for us to be liberated, something must go for it. Nothing good comes easy. There's no, even the democracy we are enjoying today, some people paid for it, right? Some people paid for it, yes. If this is, according to what people are saying, that is because Donald Trump declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern, that's why the bandits and the terrorists are now picking more interest on Nigeria. If that is the sacrifice it's going to take to end this menace, because guess what? Something must go for it. Something must go for it. An army general came out to tell Nigerians that, see, this country is going to be Islamized, that the institutions that are behind the Islamization of Nigeria are too powerful to be neglected. That the institutions that are the ones funding this genocide, that they are too powerful for Nigerians to neglect them. That's what a naval commander, somebody who has been in investigation of the terrorists, the insecurity of a thing in Nigeria, that's what he came out to say. That's what he came out to say. He said, the institutions behind this are so powerful. They are so powerful. I mean, they are so powerful. So guys, you can imagine a situation where this thing finally comes to an end. You know? Some people have come out to say, oh, Trump is coming to take Nigeria resources. Trump is coming to do this. Trump is coming to do that. Can you imagine? So, you can imagine within the last 1 week, Ekwa Church in Kaduna was raided by these bad guys. They killed many, they kidnapped. Within the last 1 week, the Kebbi girls were kidnapped. Within the last 1 week, 4 soldiers were killed. 1 general was executed. Within the last 1 week, church in Kwara was invaded and people were killed and kidnapped. Within the last 1 week, Sokoto had its own fair share. Within the last 1 week, Zamfara had its own fair share. Within the last 1 week, it's been bloodshed, bloodshed, bloodshed in Nigeria. Nigerians, how are we going to continue this way? Just tell me, how are we going to continue this way? Some people will still tell you Trump is coming to take our mineral. Trump is coming to take our mineral. How do we continue this way? Now, let me take you through some reaction. This person say, God bless you for speaking up. It's concerning that Tinubu is mute. Have accepted national broadcast from him, but never. Have expected national broadcast from him, but never. But he will be available to show face for the campaigns and re-elected campaign. Oh God, God of Apostle Ayo, Baba Lola, bring judgment this week. Bring judgment this week on evildoers. What makes you think that the government actually comes for our progress? It seems we are still assuming that they have the best of interests at heart. In their own eyes and plan, they are doing exceedingly well. They are working according to their plan. He kept saying it. He kept saying it throughout his campaign. Slow down the economy, recruit 50 youth, 5 million youths into the army and feed them with agbado, corn. We were the ones that consume. He was joking about it. He also mentioned to expand the tax net. All his plans was screaming to us and that he was after our life. But as we Nigerians will say, he is joking. God will take control. We are here now and we are saying he has failed. He failed based on your expectation, not based on his plan. Not one was, not one who has good plans for you will buy his way to power. And when he gets into power, spend the first year buying everyone that will be a problem to him remaining in power. The only reason someone will do that is because they don't have any intention to do good at all. So, they need to secure their seats before they begin their real evil. Now, after all that off-season election where their machinery wiped clean, all the election and nothing happened. He now knows he has perfected his plan to remain in power. Even the last pope, Pastor George, have now joined your representative to sing on his mandate which shall stand. He might have disappointed you, but I'm certain he and his boys are happy with the progress of their plan. Who knows, he might have made a deal during the whole election negotiation to allow the jihad carry on their jihad. So so have they promised to secure his seat of power and keep him there. Maybe that's what informed his choice of VP in his cabinet. To his cabinet, maybe a deal was struck because there is no other explanation for what's happening now. So this verse is just trying to say that Tinubu has succeeded getting many people on his side. He feels he can never be removed, you know, and that is why he has decided to launch the kind of, I don't even know how to describe what Tinubu is doing, honestly. I don't know how to describe it. When I look at it, I don't know how to describe it. Oh, wow. It's really sad what we are seeing in Nigeria. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of all this happening. I don't know what you think, how we are going to get here. I'm really so worried for Christians in northern Nigeria who are the ones suffering all this. I'm really so worried that, I don't know, even if you divide Nigeria today, does it mean that these Christians will not have a say? What will become their fate, the fate of Christians in northern Nigeria? I think that should really concern many. That should be our concern for now, you know? That should really be our concern. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.